Hi Bookends! Welcome to a 10-min check-in. I'm 10. This check-in is going to be on how to give a proper review. So jumping right on in, there are 3 types of review. The first type is the short review, as in, I love this book. This is the best book ever. A short review is an exclamation of how someone either feels or their opinions on it, i.e. I love this book or best book ever. The second type is the proper book review, which gives either 2 opinions, 1 emotion, or 2 emotions, 1 opinion. So an example of that would be, I love this book. This is the best book ever. Everyone should read it. So I love this book, that is the emotion. This is the best book ever, that is the first opinion. Everyone should read it, that is the second opinion. Finally, there is the professional review, which usually has no to low emotion. So the reviewer tries to keep their feelings out of it. And it usually has opinions, unlimited facts. Today is going to be on the one in the middle, the second one, the proper review. So let's get started. You've found a great author, or you've found a great book, and you want to leave a review because you have the time to do so, and that is awesome. Just let me let you know that authors are happy for whichever type of review you're able to give. If you don't have the time to give a proper review and all you can say is I love this book, those 5 stars really count, because that's what Amazon uses for the algorithm to be able to advertise. So the more 5 or 4-star reviews the book has, the higher up on the algorithm it becomes, and the more likely the author is to be paid more for it and also to be able to advertise. And so it is a numbers game. So if you like a book, whether you're able to give a full proper review or not, if you're able to just give the short review, that's fine too. But if you can find the time, maybe a few extra minutes to write 3 sentences, just three, then you can really help this author out a lot. So you found the book, you found the author, you found the whatever, and you are the fan girl, fan boy, fan non-binary. You are just a fan of whatever this is. You want the whole world to know. First, consider what kind of proper review you're going to write. Is this going to be an enticement, as in you want to entice people to read this book as well? Or is this going to be a spoiler, as in people who have already read this book are going to look at what you have and try to match your opinions to theirs? Or people who have never read the book before and just want to know how it ends will come searching for you. If you are in love with this author or this story, you should probably do the enticement, the fact base. So let's get into that. So when making a fact-based or a opinion-based, we call it opinion-based even though it has emotions in it, but generally it's 1 emotion, 2 opinions, even though it can be the other way around. We generally call it an opinion, proper opinion review. You're going to stay away from anything that might spoil the mystery of the story or spoil the twist in the plot. So for example, if I'm saying I loved Little Red Riding Hood, I wouldn't say I loved this book. The best part was when the grandmother gets eaten and then the wolf dies in the end. Those are facts and opinions, yes. But it also ruins it for anyone who wants to read the book and wants to be surprised by it. Most people who read a review don't want to know how the book ends. They just want to know if the book is worth buying, because they're paying their hard-earned money for it. So they just want to know, is this book good enough for me to buy? So you want to stay away from spoilers. You want to stay away from plot twists. You want to stay away from anything that might give away a spoiler or a plot twist, such as the woodsman or the huntsman comes in, and I'm not going to tell you what he does to the wolf, But I will say, we never see that wolf again. That isn't a direct spoiler, but it does lead into something that will spoil the book. So we want people not to know what happens to that wolf. What is okay to say is, this was a great book. I really enjoyed Little Red Riding Hood. I really like the author. You're gonna put in what you really like, really enjoy. You can even say it's the author, right? You can say, I really love this author. I really enjoy how this author writes, or really enjoy the world that this author creates for me. You can go for the author and say that you really love that person. Or you can go for the story itself. I really love this story. I really love these characters. I really love the romance. I really love the action. Something like that. When it goes into the opinion, you could say something to the effect of, it was really fast paced. It was really slow paced. Keep in mind, pacing is an opinion. Just because something is slow paced to me, that doesn't mean that it's not fast paced to someone else. It's an opinion. The pacing is never a fact. So you could say it was slow paced. It was fast paced. It was thrilling. When it comes to what happens with Red Riding Hood in general, you could mention that the mystery of what happened to her grandmother pulled you in. You couldn't wait to find out what happened. Those are things that are great enticements, right? Because someone who's reading your review is thinking, oh wow, I want to find out what happens to the wolf too. They want to find out what's going on because of what it is you just said, but you didn't give away what's going to happen. So they're able to purchase the book and find out for themselves what happens next. When it comes to spoilers, if you're going to give them, you should always prerequisite the review. So on Goodreads, before you give a review, there's a little tab that you can check off if it has spoilers in it. I always advise checking it off if you're going to put spoilers in it. Also too, you should put the word spoilers in the actual review at the top as a heading. Put little stars next to it, little asterisks, so people can see that is exactly what it is. Some people become very upset when it comes to getting a spoiler that they weren't anticipating. If you've already labeled something spoiler, have at it, because whoever's going to read it is fully aware that the content that they're reading is going to give away everything in the book, or at least key points in the book, key plot points, what have you. So if they're clicking on you to read about it, or if they're clicking on your review to read about it, or they're scrolling to your review to read about it, they are already about that life. They want to know. You're not ruining anything. Also, if you can add a picture, that would be great. If you have the time. If you do not have the time, that is okay. If you do have the time, just to add a quick picture of the book itself, just to show that you do have a copy of it. Because some people will pass over reviews if they think that they're just the friend of the author who did it. I know I personally, if I look at something and I see that this person is like the best friend of the author, or the author's mom or something, it's like, yes, I'm sure that the book is nice, but I would rather see a review from someone who didn't give birth to you, or didn't share a bedroom with you, or, you know, wasn't your best friend since 3rd grade. I'd rather see a review from that person. I'll take a review from the other person, but I'll take it with a grain of salt as opposed to someone who doesn't know you. So yeah, that's something to consider as well. Now let's think about the placement of where these reviews can go, because there are so many different review sites. You can even have your own website. So if you're doing a proper review, the best place to put them, a non-spoiler proper review, the best place to put them would be on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and it can be Goodreads too, should you choose Goodreads. It can also be on your, like, you know, your social media, things like that, if you really want to advertise for this person. The only place a spoiler review should go is on Goodreads or your personal website. Those are the only two places. I cannot stress hard enough. The only two places a spoiler review should go are on Goodreads or your own personal website. Why is this? Amazon affects the author's sales. Barnes and Nobles affects the author's sales. If you put a spoiler review on a platform that affects the author's sales, that could cause someone not to buy their book because they already know how it ends, and authors are using this money to supplement their income. I don't know too many people who have become rich off of selling books on Amazon, but I do know a lot of people who have used the money that they gain from selling books on Amazon to help to supplement their income in some way. And so as much as you may love this author or love this story, if you give away the spoilers within it, you are now cutting this author off at the legs. You are cutting this story off at the legs, because if this author can't make money off of it, not everyone has a chance to be able to just write because they want to. So if this author cannot make money off of it, then that may be the end of the story. Even if it's not supposed to be, even if it's supposed to have a sequel, that may be the end of it. Something else also important to take into consideration is try not to attack the author personally. So let's just say that you do not like this book. You are not a fangirl. You are not a fanboy. You are not a fan non-binary. You do not like this book. You do not like how this author writes. Nothing about this author rubs you the right way. You have every right to leave a scathing review should you choose to, but you must do so above board, because keep in mind, these people are human. So what do I mean by above board? You may remember that a few videos back I did a review for Queen of the Conquered by what is this person's name? Casing Calendar. I made it very clear in that review that author will never be on our bookshelves. I deleted their stuff from our Kindle, you know, because Two and me share a Kindle. So I deleted it because it was agreed upon this person will never be on our radar again. If you look at our Amazon review for them, it will mention things about the actual book that we did not like, and how the author seems to romanticize problematic ideas and problematic situations in a way that makes the villain seem not so villainous. And when I say that, I don't mean like a Disney's Loki or Marvel's Loki type of a thing. I mean, this person is raping people, and it wants you to feel like this person who is a willful rapist is also in some way a hero. That's what I mean by creating situations that are problematic and trying to make them into something where it's not so bad because this person is a hero. So if you read that review on Amazon, you will see that the author himself or their self wasn't attacked personally. Their writing style was, and their willfulness to create those type of situations was as well. But nothing was said about the actual author themselves, like the author is a jerk, or the author is ugly, or, you know, anything that's personal towards the author. You want to stay away from personal things about the author, whether they be good or bad. Which means if you see an author and you really like their story and you look at them too and you say, oh wow, she's cute, you don't want to put in the review, hot author writes a great book, because the author can see that as well, and that's kind of off-putting to be commenting on the author's personal appearance or personal life. The only way I could see that that would be okay would be if it was maybe a self-help book in some way, and the person who's commenting on it actually knows the author and says, you know, yes, they are a financial guru, or yes, this person giving you advice about family has a lovely family, great children, they're a great mom, they're a great dad. That would be the one way I would see that speaking personally about the author would be okay. But other things like this author is hot, this author is pretty, this author is ugly, this author is a jerk. Those are things you want to stay away from, because quite simply, if you don't know the author personally, then you don't know them. And commenting on their appearance, if you're saying something like they're ugly, is just plain flat out mean. And saying something like they're pretty can be off-putting, because like, okay, I don't know you and I don't feel comfortable with that. So we put together 2 examples, one of a proper review and one of a professional review. So if you can give your attention to the screen, we're going to discuss both of them. Okay, so the first one that you see right now is for the proper review. So I want you to see that you see 5 stars. This is for Ahsoka, or Star Wars Ahsoka. And I want you to take a look. You see 5 stars. The review itself looks pretty short, so we're going to just go over that. I loved this book. It was so good to see Ahsoka again and to get to know what she's doing between the end of the Clone Wars and the Jedi Rebels series. OMG, this book is a must read for any Star Wars fans. So breaking that down, I love this book. We hit the first checkpoint or mark for a proper review. We're showing exclamation as to how it is we feel about the book itself. Next, we're giving an opinion. It was so good to see Ahsoka again. That's an opinion. Lastly, this book is a must-read for Star Wars fans. Another opinion. So this is a proper enticement review. It doesn't give anything away aside from it saying that it was good to see Ahsoka again, and we know that this is her living her life in between the Clone Wars and a Jedi Rebels series. So it doesn't give anything away. So the next thing you're going to see is the professional review. So the first thing that should stand out to you is the number of stars went down. Why do you think that is? Let's have a look at the actual review itself. Star Wars Ahsoka was a riveting tale that explains not only what Ahsoka Tano did after leaving the Jedi Order, but also how she survived Order 66. This canon tale about a beloved Star Wars character takes the reader back in time to live through the trials, tribulations, and most importantly, the adventures of the former Jedi. The author expertly ropes the reader in with action and espionage scenes, coupled with the indecision and heart on the part of the protagonist. Highly recommended for fans of the Star Wars franchise. So we can see that the professional review is much more in-depth than the proper one. And also too, we don't see too much emotion in it. We just see the reviewer saying different information about it and also giving opinions in regards to it. Also, you see the stars went down. Why is that? If you are a fan of a story, you are more than welcome to give it a 5-star rating or what have you. If someone is rating it professionally, they can't just rate it on whether or not they like the author or whether or not they like the story. They also have to read it on, was the story told well? What voice was the story told in? Was that voice used properly? How engaging was the story? Was it long for no reason? Was it too short? Was it paced too slow? Was it paced too fast? So these are all things that factor into it. And as you can see, the 3-star review said absolutely nothing wrong with the story, but it didn't quite garner 5 stars. It didn't quite raise itself to that level. If you're a fan of something though, you are more than welcome to rate it solely on the fact of you're enjoying it. That is it. You're free to do that. So thank you so much for watching how to give a review. If you like what you see, please like and subscribe. Bye, Bookends.